Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Wednesday announced a slew of measures to help businesses, including micro, small, and medium enterprises, recover from the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. The mega 20 lakh crore rupees stimulus package was announced on Tuesday by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It includes previously announced measures to save the lockdown-battered economy and focuses on tax breaks for individuals and small businesses, as well as incentives for domestic manufacturing. The combined package works out to roughly 10% of the GDP, making it among the most substantial in the world after the financial packages announced by the United States, which is 13% of its GDP, and by Japan, which is over 21% of its GDP. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze the big takeaways from the mega economic package announced by the government. Joining me on the program today are D.K. Agarwal, President, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Aruna Sharma, Development Economist, and Madhav Lal, former Secretary, Ministry of MSME. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. D.K. Agarwal, let me begin the program with you. Let's first try and analyze and try and understand the big highlights really as far as the government's mega stimulus package is concerned for the industry.
In fact, you're right. It is truly a mega package. As a chamber, we had asked for a 16 lakh crore package, and in turn, Prime Minister has offered a 20 lakh crore package. In the first announcement, which happened yesterday by the Finance Minister, the MSME sector was the most affected sector, and this was a sector where the liquidity was the biggest issue. And I think in yesterday's conference, the Honorable Finance Minister has addressed this issue very comprehensively. A package of 3 lakh crore of collateral-free automatic loan to MSMEs for a period of 4 years with a moratorium of 1 year. I think this is what nothing could have been better than that. The fact that any outstanding...
Okay. All right, you seem to have a difficulty with the line there with D.K. Agarwal. I'll come back to you. But before that, Mr. Lal, if you can hear me. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. I think that the connectivity is better now. D.K. Agarwal, please go ahead.
Yeah. So this loan would be given for a period of 4 years with a moratorium of 1 year. I think this would benefit around 45 lakh MSMEs. The other things, there were actually 6 measures which have been announced for MSME. The distressed MSMEs, which were not getting, the MSMEs which have become NPAs, they were not getting funds from anywhere. So now this provision has been made even for those units which are otherwise viable but which have become NPAs. So there is a provision for 20,000 crore. Similarly, one provision which really excites us, that all those MSMEs which have dues pending from government or PSUs, central PSUs, so all those dues would be paid within 45 days. I think this is a big announcement. So yesterday's provisions, they would address the liquidity concern, which was one of the biggest concerns. Of course, people were expecting that there would be some kind of reimbursement on account of salary. But having said that, right now what is needed is the money to start operations, the working capital, because for last 50 days, there was no sale, there was no income, no revenue, no production, and expenses were continuing. And now since then, economic activities are getting started, the first requirement would be the liquidity. So yesterday's announcements, it comprehensively addresses the liquidity issue, and particularly this guarantee which has been provided by the government to the banks. So what they say, earlier the apprehension of banks was that they would not want to give the lending to MSME because there would be apprehension of NPAs. So now with this 100% guarantee coming from government, I think there would be a lot of disbursals happening, and the key is of course in the immediate disbursal and disbursal to everyone, not only to the influential people. So I am sure that this is going to be automatic, and this would be a big pain of the MSME reliever. This would be a big reliever of the pain.
Okay, a big reliever of the pain as far as MSMEs are concerned is what Mr. Agarwal is suggesting. This is why I'd like to bring you in, Mr. Lal, as someone who's been at the, at the top really as far as the Ministry of MSME is concerned. How would you look at this economic package, and do you believe that we are going to see the MSMEs really bounce back after seeing a lull as a result of COVID-19?
Yeah, as Mr. Agarwal just now mentioned, this package, I would also look at it primarily from the point of view of liquidity for the MSME. So he was mentioning about these collateral-free loans from the banks. This definitely is a very big step. And also the other measures such as changing the definition of the MSMEs and expanding it considerably. That also would bring in more MSMEs into the more enterprises into the definition of MSMEs. As would the measures announced with regard to procurement. I guess that with 200 crore of tenders being locally reserved, that would also enable the MSMEs to participate in the government tender. Now, the thing is that the MSMEs are spread across the country, and they are also spread across the different value chains and supply chains and value chains, production chains. So these measures are of a very general nature. We will have to see how these measures really play out, because they will play out in terms of the market conditions prevailing in the local areas as well as within the value chains. So some of the things may come back into running more quickly than the others. So if this is like the beginning, if we look at it like the beginning of the restarting of the enterprises and starting of the economic activity, then I think the measures are pretty well directed.
Okay, all right, Ms. Sharma, let me bring you to the picture now. You listened to both the panelists before you, and as far as MSMEs are concerned, what more do you believe needs to be done? Because the government can only do that much and only that much of hand holding. It is for the industry and others also to do their bit.
You are absolutely right. Like the government has done, it has leveraged whatever fund was available. So whether because of reverse repo rate or CRR, the bankers had liquidity. So giving a confidence to the bankers to give more and more loans and push it in the market. Then you have money with the EPF. So that is where they have done a little tinkering by reducing from 12% to 10% for the owners, and as well as the labor share the government will be paying. So that kind of a cushion has been given for 6 months. So that is also a money that has been tapped and put into the flow. So that is a very good measure. But what if you look at it from the supply side of it, both Mr. Agarwal and Mr. Lal has very clearly said that MSME, there is a possibility for them to trigger very well, as it's a great opportunity for them to again immediately stand up. But then we have to increase the demand also. And for demand, two things are very, very clear, which has been mentioned in this package, is the government giving a push to infrastructure, both in the rural areas and the urban areas. So that will trigger the economy and the related industries considerably. So it will give a push to steel, cement, sand, minor minerals, everything when you are going ahead with it, as well as these are great employers. And Manrega also, there is a push, and if you read the newspaper reports, the demand for Manrega is going up. So with this kind of a combination, there will be a cash in hand among the people to go and buy the goods, and that will sort of complete the cycle. But then what is the question letter, which is very, very important, is this is the time to use this opportunity. You have to have grievance cells, because there are going to be a lot of hiccups for this to translate into a reality. And how quickly those hiccups or those things are plugged is where like what they say, the whole thing is in detailing. That's where the beauty lies. So if you are able to plug that quickly, then definitely the MSMEs can take an advantage. And like Mr. Lal very rightly said, less than 200 crores is an opportunity that at least in the government procurement, no outside bidding. It will be again going back to Make in India, kind of a preferential procurement policy. So it is an opportunity, yes, and it is an opportunity to come back on rails. And government with not a very big balance in the treasury, I think this is the maximum they could walk. And it is now for everybody to start moving and make the wheels run. And I think that is what is going to make the difference.
All right. So this is where I'd like to bring you in, Mr. Agarwal. As far as the government is concerned, the government has done its part. It's now time for the industry to do its bit as well and step up, is what the other panelists are suggesting. Is the industry ready for the challenge that lies ahead of them?
Absolutely, you're right. Now it is on the part of industry to rise to the occasion. Prime Minister has said that we have to strengthen the supply chain and we have to be part of this global supply chain. And one thing which he has mentioned, that the 21st century belongs to us and we have to grab this opportunity. This COVID-19 is a message for all of us and it has brought this opportunity. So what it really means, and he has also talked about the reforms, labor reform, land reform, ease of doing business, laws reform, judiciary reform. So I think now this is an opportunity for India. And he has also talked about being vocal about local and then going global. So whatever he has said in his speech, I think there is a very clear-cut message that we have to make in India has to be strengthened. We have to make India as a manufacturing base. This is an opportunity for India because right now, a lot of companies, they want to move out of China. Their faith in China has been shaken. So around 300 companies from US, Japan, Korea, EU, they are looking to shift their manufacturing base, and India could offer this as an opportunity, as a alternative manufacturing base. And what I understand that when he talked about the labor reform, the land reform, he actually means this, that we have to bring these reforms, we have to make India a very favored destination. So my sense is that now the industry has to come forward. We have to create this as a opportunity. Whatever support is needed from the government is willing to give. Liquidity was one of the biggest issue. That liquidity we will be getting from the government. Now we have to make sure that we become operational. My sense is with lockdown 4 starting, it would be a new lockdown. Almost all the activities will get started except public gathering. We have to make sure that we are ready with starting all of our economic activities, and we should make our dream of making 21st century as India's century. So my sense is that this is an opportunity. This is a call to the industry, and we as a PSD Chamber of Commerce, we are fully with the government. We would provide all the support to the industry as well as to the government. We provide a platform where we will make sure that industry also rise to the occasion.
Okay, all right. So taking the discussion forward and bringing in another aspect now, Mr. Lal, the financial sector has been under a lot of stress over the last few years. There have been several reforms that have been undertaken by this government to try and address that particular issue. Even this particular package talks about liquidity, talks about addressing the woes in the financial sector, especially NBFCs and so on and so forth. So do you believe that the problems there can be addressed and will be addressed going forward?
Yeah, I think that has been the need of the hour for quite some time now. Even before the present crisis, the financial sector was already stressed. And in fact, even the MSME sector had suffered quite a bit over the years. I'm not talking about a few months preceding the crisis, but over the years, the MSME sector has not really done as well, in my opinion, as it could have done. So I think on both these fronts, a continued effort would be required. What I feel is that the present package is at best, restoring a kind of a status quo ante before the COVID pandemic period. So it is not really, I don't see that much in it, excepting the change of definition of MSMEs, which provides a direct thrust to the MSMEs to grow as such. So this is a package which is directed primarily for the MSMEs which have been, out of business for the last over 2 months. to really come back and stand on their own feet as they were doing before the crisis arose. So I think the normal kind of reforms which the system demands, including various measures for improving the doing business in various parts of the country, they need to be attended to even with much more vigor. And all these things need to be accompanied by, a review of policies on various fronts, as Mr. Agarwal was mentioning, and you were also mentioning, the labor policies. But I would also include in that the trade policies. So at the end of the day, the MSMEs were finding it very difficult to compete also in the global market. So how do the MSMEs, given that the situation stabilizes and with all these financial assistance, how do the MSMEs become globally competitive? That is the issue. In the past, the imports have increased considerably, not just from China, but from other Southeast Asian countries and other places. So, if we are talking really about import substitution, then there has to be a strategy which has to be dedicated to that on that front. These packages would be helpful in just getting our industry back on its feet, but something a lot more will require to be.
Absolutely. All right. So taking the discussion forward, let me bring in another aspect in as well. Sharma, announcements have been made on the tax front as well. For instance, ITR filing dates extended to the 30th of November. TCS and TDS as well. Some changes there. So the government has tried to look at it holistically and bring out a lot of changes to ensure that the lives of the common man is eased a little bit going forward.
I'll put it this way, tax is sort of redrawing the calendar. It's not a real relief. It's just sort of pushing few things ahead so that immediately there is not an outflow from the pocket and you have a breather for a couple of months to file your GSTs or do it. And TDS payment is also anyway, they have reduced by 25%. So instead of 10%, it will be 7.5, which will be deducted at source. But ultimately, the individual will have to pay depending on the tax liability anybody has got. So it's more like a redrawing the calendar. But I will like to say one thing, that holistic presently is just from the liquidity point of view to make the wheel run, to make the wheels operative. But in a sustainable basic, I think there is a need to have a holistic approach for each sector. Sector by sector, one will have to go and have a holistic approach and take care of every point that is needed into it, because otherwise it's not sustainable. And at this point of time, I will see that we should not even think about the exports. We being a big 1.53 billion country, we are a big consumer. So if we are able to produce for ourselves a quality good which is competitive, I think we have done our job. And in the process, automatically you will enter the export market. Because luckily we have an advantage, we are not dependent on the world market. For us to have a break even or maybe a profit, if not profiteering, the domestic market is good enough for number of goods for that matter. More than 99% of goods we can create. But then it is very important in MSMEs, they have to tighten their belt. Economy of scale not being there, they are not competitive to the import cost. So that economy of scale they will have to work upon, they will have to bring in efficiency. That all cannot be sort of concession by the government. It is something the industrialist or the manufacturer themselves will have to tighten the belt. And I will say this is a turning point, use it as an opportunity. Yes, it could have been done better, there could have been more packages, but a package is always a temporary measure, it's not a long-term measure. So for a long-term measure, use it as an opportunity that, okay, working capital is there. See, today nobody is going to invest in capital expansion. So what is needed is working capital, and that has been taken care of. So now bankers' fear has to go. Those 4 C's, famous 4 C's have to be put on rest. They should be encouraged to sort of lend, push it ahead and ensure, and I'm very sure this will be fewer NPAs and a better way of organizing it. and that will trigger. So main problem that has been solved is of the liquidity. Other things is a hard work which has to follow, and all new normal is going to set in. Create more jobs in the local area, that is in the rural areas, by value addition to agriculture produce, whatever it is, because the migration will come down. And I'm 100% sure the industries are back on their drawing board that they will manage with lesser people and more automation. So this is bound to follow in coming 2 years. So therefore, parallelly one has to work to generate jobs deep inside the country, in the rural areas, of quality, sustainable jobs. And on the other hand, this automation is also going to come into picture, and that will bring in a lot of efficiencies.
Absolutely. All right. So, Mr. Agarwal, so what do you see as the most challenging aspect going forward, really, and how do you believe that that can be addressed?
The immediate challenge is going to be the labor force, the migrant labor, because what we hear, a lot of people have already gone, and many of them are still wanting to live. So how to make sure that this labor is available? Because this is a very large force. We have around 12 crore migrant labor, which is employed in real estate, which is employed in industry, as well as agriculture. So many of them who have gone to their villages, because state government has facilitated their travel to their home. So now they should facilitate even their travel back to the work. That is one. Secondly, we have to also see that they are being given the right treatment. Some states have done an excellent job. They have given them food, they have maintained in terms of healthcare, and what really they should be doing is even give them the subsistence allowance. And till this lockdown period is over, I'm sure that unless we do all these things, we would say that we are not treated our labor, which is very important, properly. So my sense is that we have to treat our labor well, and secondly, we have to also get them back, because they will not come back unless until that fear is allayed. Somebody appeals, maybe the Prime Minister appeals or the Chief Minister of the state appeals that they should come back to work, and even the industry has to ensure that whatever labor is right now available, they should treat them well. So that is going to be the first challenge. Second challenge is going to be the demand. There is demand disruption, there is supply disruption. And liquidity. Liquidity, what I believe, has been addressed. So demand disruption, because ultimately, if you are producing, you have to sell. And as my colleague rightly said, that India is a large domestic market. But right now, the income of this large market has become very low. So we have to see that this demand gets generated. One, right now people are not spending. Who will spend them? I think it is the government which has to spend. So some allocation has to be made out of this package on spending. Maybe we spend on infrastructure, maybe on various Manrega and other policies. So we have to spend money on infrastructure, and sizable portion has to be spent to boost the demand. See, this COVID-19 is a problem now, but even before that, this was the problem India was facing. So now this is an added problem. So whatever solutions which we are talking today, I think these solutions were to be done also at that time. But in any case, what we believe that demand has to be generated, government has to spend, money has to be even available with the people. Maybe whatever has been announced yesterday is the first of the announcements. I would like to believe that there would be more announcements which will be made today, tomorrow, and day after. And there would be more package for MSME also. There would be package for every sector, and there would be a lot of measures which would be taken, long-term and short-term measures. Long-term measures could be that you give more power, more income at their disposable. Maybe we have talked about reducing the income tax rate for LLPs, partnership firms, and proprietorship firms, because if corporates are paying 22% and 15%, why a section of the entrepreneurs, which is the MSME sector, why they should be paying more? Right now they have to pay 30%. If we cannot give them a preferential treatment, at least we should give them a equal treatment. So even their tax rate should be brought down to 22% and 15%. And that way they would be left with more purchasing power, with more money to expand, to spend. So I believe that demand has to be generated. That is another big challenge which is India is going to face, and we have to find solutions.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Lal, what's the best way forward?
Yeah, I think I would agree with all that has been said, but there are a few things which I would like to just mention. For one, MSME itself is a very heterogeneous and complex sector. And so, if you look at the definitions, either before or after this change, you have actually a very large number of tiny enterprises, and they constitute almost 90% of the entire MSME space. In fact, as per the 2008 census of MSMEs, which was the last census that was done officially, almost 90% of the enterprises had a turnover of less than 10 lakhs in those days. So, I mean, the position would not have radically changed since then, although the 10 lakh may have become some other higher number. So, the point which I'm trying to make is this package essentially goes to address the somewhat better off MSMEs. And there is a huge segment which is close to something in between the labor and the livelihood enterprises, which needs to be addressed. And it involves a lot of people. It does contribute a lot into manufacturing and service delivery, and even in exports. For example, if you take the handicrafts and the handloom sector and so on, they are tiny enterprises, and that segment of the MSMEs needs special attention. And I feel that the present package doesn't really address them. One would be actually waiting for subsequent announcements of the government as to how that very significant section of the economy and the labor force that will be ahead following this crisis.
All right, and Ms. Sharma, close the show for us with your concluding remarks.
Okay. See, I will put it this way. I totally agree with my co-panelist, what they have very clearly underlined. And I will say the labor problem is more psychological now than economic. So by telling them that you will get wages and better employment in town, please come back or don't go home, is not working. They are just desperate to be home. If somebody is ready to walk for 500 kilometers and all, that clearly explains their desperation. And unfortunately, they have not been sort of handled well. In the sense, point to point could have easily been arranged for them to take, and this would have been a time for them to come back, being confident that yes, they have been taken care of and they have checked with their families, they have sort of provided for their families in their absence and come back to work. So it's more psychological, and I think we have to deal it accordingly. So it has to be a confidence building for them that again, there is not going to be a lockdown kind of a thing. They will be taken care of, their needs are sort of flagged, and it is accepted that yes, they are the topmost priority. That message has to be loud and clear. Only then they'll be coming back. So that is where it is going to be. The second thing which is very important is that when we are talking about the liquidity and pushing sort of manufacturing and going ahead with it, the major problem is the consumption pattern. The demand side also, the moment the cash comes in hand, it is not going to go for bigger items. People in this lockdown have learned to live with minimal. So in the sense that impact is going to continue at least for a quarter or two, where the spending expenditure will be for minimal, for survival, and those are the kind of goods. So if you look at it in the auto sector also, they have gone for two-wheelers and low-cost cars. They're not going for high cars at all, because that kind of a market is going to get skewed for luxury goods, for that kind of market. So it's something consumable, it is something which is available, which is going to go. But now, unfortunately, this whole package is not coming in a single frame for anybody to assess. It is going to come in tranches. What is very important is that now you have to, in literal sense, go for ease of business. In the sense, this lots of compliances, lot of forms, it's quite complicated. And what Mr. Lal was rightly saying of the tiny sectors and others, low manufacturing sector who are on a threshold to pay GST. I mean, you can't expect them to engage a CA and file their returns every month and go ahead and do it. So that all cumbersomeness from MSME has to go out. It has to be a very simple kind of thing, a quarterly return, and that's it. Because what you need is the money based on transaction, and that should take care of it. So this is an opportunity to also simplify many of the things that has been rolled down and go ahead with it. And as a last remark, I will just say, unfortunately, the government is not in a position to pass on the concessions. The kind of extra levy which has come in petrol and diesel, and the extra cost which has come on liquor, it is because the state governments are strived of money, and they have to sort of provide all the relief for the COVID victims and sort of put things in rail. So they are also cash starved. So this kind of a arrangement is creating a problem. So that has to be sort of slowly eased out as we move ahead. Because, just to solve one problem, you can't create another problem.
Right.
So I think with this, I will stop.